testing the audio. Let's test the audio. Hello and welcome inside. All right. It's Syracuse and Rochester, the I-90 rivalry in New York. Kickoff moments away. New York supremacy, Empire State supremacy on the line. We'll be bringing it to you all here at David Buster's Field at the On-Center War Memorial Arena. Hello, friends. I'm John Paul Chunga. Mike Perms alongside me. Okay. Mike Perms alongside me. Syracuse won all 5 meetings against Rochester in the 2013 season. Should be somebody. Let me test his audio. Hello? Test, 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 test. Great, how are you?
He wanted you to go live at 7:25.
7:25, sounds good.
I believe so. I can check with Alex for you in just a second.
Yeah.
Our levels are too loud. Are they?
I don't know.
Making that up?
7:25.
I'm sorry, what was your question? Can you talk during breaks? He said no, he'll turn you down during the breaks. Hey, dude, what's the name of the company with the lights in?
He's here. It's
Ephesus.
emphasis.
No, Ephesus.
Emphasis.
Ephesus. EPH. It's the best lighting in the country. Ephesus.
Tell Mark. Alright. Mark's here too.
Yes. What? True story. The three guys, the three brothers. Yeah, yeah. Huh? John would know.
Check one, check one. Check.
it.
Down.
Oh.
Down. Check. Check one, check two, check three, check four. What a great night here. Ephesus, new lighting here. Working with fully focused media and Ephesus lighting. It's going to be a hell of a light show today, boys. Check one, check two, check three, check. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, you're loud too, buddy.
I'm loud?
Yeah, I don't know. Am I too loud? Will, how we doing?
You hear good. You sound good in my ear.
Check.
Keep going. We're good to go. I think that counts. All right, let's get it started.
Well, they got to put us on, right?
Okay, yeah.
Where are my glasses? Five minutes is long.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, we could get through all that in about two
We could.
to three.
We could extend it even.
Yeah. Oh, we can extend.
We could extend it for sure.
When do you go on? Yeah, the game's gonna start late.
Okay. We can go. It's Syracuse and Rochester, the I-90 rivalry in New York. Kickoff, moments away, Empire State supremacy on the line. We'll be giving it to you all here at Dave & Buster's Field at the On-Center War Memorial Arena. Thanks for spending your time with me. I'm John Paul Chunga, my broadcast partner Mike Kerms. Last year, Syracuse took all 5 games. They really put a thrashing on the Lancers. What do you expect coming into this year that they gave them a lick last season?
Well, I wouldn't call it a lick. Every single game was one of the most exciting games in the season. I mean, you got down to that last game on February 16th, a 17-15 overtime thriller. Just amazing match. Canardo Forbes scores in that last minute of that game, in overtime in that game, and every single game is a barn burner. And this one, I don't expect anything different.
And this rivalry, going back to all sorts of years, in the Salty Dogs go against the Rochester team. How important is this rivalry as far as taking over the New York sphere of soccer?
Yeah, the rivalry between Rochester and Syracuse is tremendous, and it's great that the Silver Knights brought soccer back to Syracuse, the hiatus between the Salty Dogs and Silver Knights has just been too long for the Syracuse. Rochester obviously has a history with the Rochester Rhinos, and now the Rochester Lancers playing simultaneously. But the rivalry goes on now, on not out inside from the pitch, which is the outdoor field, onto the turf. And the Silver Knights and Lancers, this rivalry, the Lancers are 4-7, or the Silver Knights are 7-4. But it's an exciting rivalry, and the Lancers want to get something back from last year.
Now going into this year's action, Syracuse beat the Pennsylvania Roar 18-7 in the first game of the year. It was an offensive explosion in the first half. Syracuse led that game 14-4 at the first intermission. What stuck out in that performance?
Yeah, what sticks out tremendous is Kennardo Forbes right off the bat scores in 12 seconds into the match, and that's just a testament to Tommy Tanner getting these guys ready, saying get out there and go after them right away. So 12 seconds, a new team in the league, let's go after them right away. The other thing that stuck out is Slavica Uba-Parapovic, who I feel struggled a little bit last season after being Rookie of the Year 2 years ago. You saw Slavica actually getting himself into the box a little bit more, a lot more than you've seen last year.
Now, how important is that core that Tommy Tanner has amassed in Nelson Santana, Slavica Ubi-Parapovic, and even, you didn't even mention him, Neto, to bring into this fold and to have on another year?
Yeah, how could I forget Neto, who's just had a tremendous season, number 3 in the league in scoring last year. Neto is just, that core is real important. So, and the Lancers are building the same thing. If you look at the roster of the Lancers, they're starting to build a core. They've got Doug Miller, they got Maurizio Salas, Jake Schindler's back, they got Hannigan back in goal. But so you have two teams that are building a core. They're two new franchises virtually. This is their 3rd season, and it's important to build a core, and that's how you build championships moving forward. You play against teams like Baltimore and Milwaukee. They've been around forever. So now Rochester and Syracuse, usually the 3rd year is when you start to flourish.
20 to 30 years of experience in indoor soccer in Milwaukee and Missouri. Just the 3rd year for these two squads. But looking at this team this year, there were some changes that you could look at. Now for the Syracuse Silver Knights, they brought in 4-time MISL champion Michelle Millwood. How important is he going to be to lead this team?
Michelle Millwood, I've seen that guy grown over the years. His rookie year with the Syracuse Salty Dogs, he comes back to Syracuse as he starts to wind down in his career. Hopefully he's not winding down too fast because Tommy Tanner's happy to have him. Michelle Millwood's going to add that target up top, and he's a leader on the field and off the field.
7 shots in the last game for Michelle Millwood. Now switching over to the Rochester Lancers side, this squad obviously led by the 2013 MVP Doug Miller. He's 44 years old. How does he keep on scoring in a league?
It's just amazing. I mean, Doug Miller is a good, I say Dougie because Doug's a good friend of mine. The guy constantly keeps himself in shape. He's constantly fit. And if there's anyone that's out there that wants to learn how to be a professional soccer player, they should go talk to Doug Miller because Doug Miller does it. He lives it. He breathes it. And Doug is just tremendous. Again, another guy, a leader on and off the field. And MIS, I was amazed at how great Dougie played last year and the amount of points. I mean, over 100 points, 102 points last season. That's tremendous, and it's just unheard of in the amount of games that he played.
And the fact that Dougie is older than his coach right now, Josh Reif. Talking about Josh Reif, it's his first year on the job. Last year, the defensive woes were obvious. This team gave up the most goals in MISL play. Now coming in this year, Josh Reif is going to be the guy in charge, a defender in charge. What does he need to change, and how is he going to approach this as a challenge to lead this Lancer squad?
Well, Josh knows that he's not gonna come in and say, hey, Maurizio Salas, Doug Miller, you guys have to start doing this. He knows what has to be fixed with Rochester, and it's definitely, like you said, the defensive woes. So he's just focusing on roles. I talked to Josh before the game. I've talked to Josh many times before, but being a new coach, but knowing the game of indoors, he knows, and Josh was a role player himself as a player. He knows that he has to get those defenders to learn that they're the role players, and the forwards are the guys that are going to score the goals. So let Maurizio and Doug Miller do their job and do everything that they've always done, and start teaching the guys in the back how to play proper defense and know their roles and at what points they need to go forward.
You bring up Maurizio, but he won't be here tonight. He's injured for the Lancers. The job is going to fall to Andrew Hoxie as the second guy to really supplement Doug Miller's scoring. He had 2 goals last week, including an assist. What is the burden on Andrew Hoxie to lead this team scoring?
Andrew Hoxie doesn't have a burden. Andrew Hoxie's a veteran himself. He's up top. He just shows up. That guy loves to just play soccer. Andrew also plays with the Rochester Rhinos, and he just loves to be out on the pitch. You'll see how much he just glides on the field. He just enjoys to be on the field and playing the game. And Hoxie will be another target forward with Doug Miller, or being a second, or one of those guys to start playing second forward. I can't wait to see Hoxie and Miller working together.
What is the key cog in this Rochester Lancers attack that really gets them to go without Maurizio in the lineup tonight?
Well, it's going to be Doug Miller and Hoxie, the 2 guys that we've already talked about. I mean, really, Doug Miller only had 1 point last game against Baltimore, and that, you know, I feel right now, I'm like, man, is Doug going into a sophomore slump? But the guy's 44 years old. But really, it's gonna be up to Doug to start leading that offense so they can get more points on the board than just 9 points.
Who needs to step up in that case other than Andrew Hoxie and Doug Miller?
Well, you got Foskey, who's going to be playing in the midfield. You got Janino out there, a longtime friend of Maurizio Salas. I mean, childhood friends. So Janino is 39 years old. He's got experience in the indoor and outdoor game. He's been around a long time. Joey Tavernisi, a relatively young guy. Can you step up and get some more points? He got 2 points last week against Baltimore. And really, it's going to be that midfield role. Tavernisi, Janino, Boughton, Foskey, and Pedrino. Can they start getting a little bit more offense and push Doug Miller and get the ball to Doug Miller at the right places at the right times? Get the ball to Hoxie so guys can run off of Hoxie as that target forward.
We'll step aside as the PA announcer gives us the lineups for both squads.
The Silver Knights would like to acknowledge our local ownership group and thank them for their support and for bringing
after the anthems and God Bless America, we can get to the game. Lights may need to come on for that. There's nice lighting, right, Mike?
Oh, the lighting's great. Ephesus Lighting, brand new startup company, about a year and a half old. They're putting lighting around all the arenas in the country, and it's the best lighting I've ever seen. You want to turn those lights on, they're on instantly. Bang, they just came right on. There's no wait time. We could play right now if we had to.
That's how you do it. Well, if we were to play right now for the Rochester
I mean, look at that.
Lancers-
Look at this place right now. I mean, instantly. You're in any hockey arena, you got to wait for those things to come on.
They're on in an instant. Let's go to the starting lineup for the Rochester Lancers. Starting at the front, it's going to be Captain Doug Miller alongside forward Joey Tavernisi. In the midfield, Gary Boughton. Juninho, the Brazilian midfielder. Also in the back, we'll have Elliot Fauski and Edgar as the defenders in front of Patrick Hannigan's goal. Lancers are coached by Josh Reif. Mike, your initial thoughts?
My initial thoughts are the same thoughts as I had earlier. This is going to be an unbelievable match, and really the Lancers, good starting lineup. The one thing you're missing, obviously, is Maurizio Salas. You have Maurizio Salas and Andrew Hoxie in there, it'd be a lot more dangerous, but unfortunately we won't see Maurizio Salas until mid-December.
Now the Syracuse Silver Knights going with the regular starters. Number 8, all-MISL first-teamer Neto alongside Slavica Udiparapovic, number 99. He had 3 goals against Pennsylvania to get him on the MISL Team of the Week. In the midfield, it'll be Canardo Forbes, the number 55. And in the back, Nelson Santana, the skipper, alongside Darren Toby, number 21 out of the Trinidad and Tobago. All in front of the keeper, Brian O'Quinn.
Yeah, and you look at that lineup, you look at that starting lineup, and it's a very similar starting lineup to last year. So there's not a lot of changes. That's a good core right there. Compared to the Lancers, there's a few changes that you didn't see last year compared to this year. So that's really the difference. You see experience on the Syracuse Silver Knights side versus some inexperience. But don't forget, the Lancers have Doug Miller.
And this team, the Syracuse Silver Knights, are looking for a fast start. Scored 12 seconds into the game against the Pennsylvania Roar.
And I'm sure they're going to look for Canardo Forbes to do the same thing tonight. Could be one of the fastest goals in MISL history off of a kickoff.
Well, first, it'll be the Rochester Lancers to kick off. Last week, obviously, the Syracuse Silver Knights. They'll be wearing their blacks with their white numerals. All the Rochester Lancers in all yellow with blue socks and blue numerals. We're about ready to start the 2013-2014 home season for the Syracuse Silver Knights as it goes all the way. Doug Miller to chip it in to Joey Tavernisi. It's collected by Brian O'Quinn. Hurled all the way down to looking for Neto. Headed out as it finds its way.
You know, you mentioned Brian O'Quinn, and Brian O'Quinn throwing that ball. You could see that the experience. Brian O'Quinn now has 2 years experience playing in this league, and he's doing a tremendous job. If this was 2 years ago and you said Brian O'Quinn versus Patrick Hannigan, you'd say, okay, Patrick Hannigan has him, no problem. But really, Brian O'Quinn has been tremendous in his learning in the last 2 years, and just really becoming a leader in this league in goalkeeping.
And how important is that distribution that he had right there? You got to connect with your forwards to get into that attack.
I mean, the game is all about the goalkeeper. A lot of the game is about goalkeeper distribution, and that's something that Brian O'Quinn has really become accustomed to be excellent at.
It's chipped in deep for Andrew Hoxie. Hoxie trying to lay it off, but he can't, and it's taken away by the Silver Knights for their first little spell of possession in this ball game. So all the way over to Elenio. Elenio chipped down is Nate Bordeaux as Juninho took a little bite of him right there. Bordeaux, one of the Baldwinsville products. He's from Central New York guy. He's ready for this one. Ball with Michelle Millwood. Millwood looking for Yelovich on the near side. Gives him a shimmy over on the right side. Shot! Save by Hannigan as he pawed it away. Goes all the way to the other goalkeeper, Brian O'Quinn. He's able to poke it out for Marco Chantel. Canardo Forbes, Chantel. Ubi Barapovic finding the ball. in his defensive zone. Early spell of possession for the Syracuse Silver Knights. It was really their patience against the Pennsylvania Roar that was able to break down that defense.
It's funny you bring that up because you watch them being patient, and that's something when these two teams play against each other, it's usually up and down. And now you've seen both teams, after being in the league for 2 years, being patient with the ball, not just rushing. 2 years ago, you see Uber Parapovic go straight to goal with that ball.
Right now, holding and doing some drags. This ball's kicked out of bounds by Edgar. Going out for a kick in.
Yeah, and then you see Uber Parapovic wanted that at the top of the arc.
You can't just kick it out in this game like you can in the outdoor game. It has to be off of a deflection to go out of play.
Well, if you do kick it out, it's going to go at the top of the arc, which is a lot more dangerous than if it's a deflection because they're going to be kicking in from the side.
Ball finds its way and it's dispossessed for the Lancers. Release valve over to Edgar on the near side. All the way back to Hannigan. No token pressure as it goes to Boughton on the near. His clean trap.
That's the one thing you're going to see with Hannigan and Brian O'Quinn. They're both very good with their feet. You see Hannigan just ping the ball right to Boughton, no problem right there.
Little dummy by Juninho as he gets on the inside of Chantel. Shot off the board, can't get it. Brian O'Quinn scoops it up after the rebound. Couldn't find a Lancers player. Deep throw to LJ Papaleo. Off the board and he collects. Shielding the ball from Edgar. Release valve to Darren Toby. Nelson Santana. In comes Neto, who immediately receives the ball. Trying to cut on his right. Poked away by Juninho. But still, possession for the Syracuse Silver Knights. Resetting with their goalkeeper, Brian O'Quinn. To Yelovic on the far side. Diagonal ball to Corey Elanio, former MLSer with the Columbus Crew. He goes down the line, trying to find his right. Guarded. And he has to go all the way back to Nelson Santana. Going for the target man, Neto. It's poked away. And no shot on that possession. Careless little piece of play. A little reckless with the ball, Patrick Hannigan. To find his way to Andrew Hoxie, the big man.
Yeah, I'd call that a little bit risky. A little bit risky, but really you see the patient, you see how calm, cool, and collected both Cole and Hannigan were on that ball. Even with that pressure, they still were able to keep it.
It's really telling how these two teams aren't going right at it and going full bore. It's patient play. It's collecting your passes, collecting the traps, getting into your offensive positions. Foul there by Steven Basso, as that'll be a free kick opportunity for the Syracuse Silver Knights.
I mean, Tim Tiemann calls a pull of the jersey there. I think that could have been more than just a foul. That could be a possible 2 minutes right there when you pull him down on the jersey. I mean, Canardo's Forbes jersey was past his bicep.
10-12 left in this one in the first quarter of play. Still 0-0. As Slavica Uri-Parapovic stands over a free kick. Shot on, blocked away by Steven Basso, the man who committed the foul, but it goes all the way back to Canardo Forbes. He keeps possession with Toby all the way to Chantel around the horn. Back to Forbes. Flipped into Neto. Pushed off the ball, and that'll be a foul on Jake Schindler, the big defender. 2 straight fouls as the Syracuse Silver Knights are trying to probe this Lancers defense to find Pater. Two men in the wall. As the ball's clipped in, shot blocked away. It goes all the way back to Neto. Neto poked out to Forbes as the release valve. We go back to Chantel as Toby runs out. His replacement, Bo Yelovich, gets the pass. Cutting in on his right. Shot! Goal! Bo Yelovich opens the scoring at home.
And that's what happens when you get a converted defender, when you get a converted forward to a defender. that guy could come forward, and he's dangerous coming out of the back, and fires one right into the corner. In the meantime, on the other side of the field, Neto and Jake Schindler just going at it face to face, and Jake Schindler got caught up having a little argument with Neto, and that's a three-pointer from outside the arc. What a great finish by Yelovich.
The triple by Bo Yelovich, his second goal on the year. He had 4 shots in the Pennsylvania Roar game, and he's adding to it right now as Syracuse goes up 3-0 with 9:29 left to go in the first quarter. Michelle Millwood causing trouble in the Lancers defensive end. He's pulled and tugged as he tries to range through. He'll get the foul as the referee looked for advantage on that one. Pulling and tugging by Edgar to control Millwood. Free kick from just about 55 yards out behind the yellow line. Marks 50. 2 men in the wall. Nelson Santana approaches. Pass off to Bo Yelovich, the goal scorer. It's poked away and a 3-on-2 could develop. It goes to Pedrinho. Pedrinho tackled away by Santana as Elenio tries to start it the other way. Outlet to Millwood, who's using his possession, but gets it poked away by Cole.
And
here's Nate Bordeaux trying to use the boards. He's stuck with it. Tough and rumble play.
And that's the thing on that last one. You have a 3v2 situation, and that's going to make the difference. Doug Miller was in the right position already. He was past the 2 defenders, and the 2 midfielders just couldn't execute that 3v2. And that's going to be the difference. If the Lancers can do that, they can get these 3v2 situations and execute them. They're going to put the Silver Knights under pressure. But right now, it didn't look like that.
Talked to assistant coach Joe Papaleo during the week. He said that's the one thing that worried him in the Pennsylvania game. Too many 3v2 situations, too many odd man rushes for the Syracuse Silver Knights to give up. This ball's clipped in and chested to the goalkeeper by Nelson Santana.
Well, when you have guys like Nelson Santana and Bo Yelovich, they want to go forward, and when they do go forward, they're dangerous. They just need to get back, and there also has to be that cover. If they're going forward, someone has to be aware that they're forward, and they might have to cover if there is a counter.
It's really talked about that defensive shape, trying to keep the target forward, pressing the line with the second striker underneath. Stolen away by Uparapovic, and he can't get it past Hannigan. Heroics from the goalkeeper as he sends it all the way up the left side to Juninho. Tackled away by Chantel, and Canardo Forbes was able to collect. High pressure from the Lancers as Juninho tries to steal it back from Chantel, going with some pokes. Banging off Juninho, but it's still stuck in the corner. 2 men guard Juninho in Forbes and Chantel, and it goes all the way to Brian O'Quinn. Outlet to Neto. Ruby Parapovic, who jumps right out, and Nate Bordeaux comes into the ball game. Finding the Central New Yorker. This ball's clipped down to Neto. Defender on his back. Overlapping run by Forbes. Chantel back. Around the horn to Toby. Probing the defense as he clips it into Canardo Forbes, whose touch was a little tricky. He gives it up. Triangle passing by the Rochester Lancers as they find a wide open Joey Tavernisi. 1-on-1 through the wickets. 3-2. Rochester pulls within 1 with 6:41 to go in the first period.
And you saw that the Silver Knights were putting pressure. They had 3 guys putting pressure in the defensive zone of the Lancers, and they were able to break out, and that allowed Joey Tavernisi to cheat just that little bit. And when they were able to break out of that, that's when that odd man rush happened. Right there, Joey Tavernisi found space. They got it to him, but they were able to break out. That pressure wasn't good enough by the Silver Knights.
That'll lead to our first media timeout. 6:41 left. We'll be back with more first period action. Syracuse Silver Knights lead 3-2 over the Rochester Lancers. Back inside the on-center War Memorial for more first period action. 6:40 left. Knights lead 3-2 as it goes all the way to Elanio on the near side. Shot was pawed away. Now it's a foul here as Bo Yelovich got a little over exuberant in his tackle on Elliot Foskey. Corey Cole in the defensive pairing with Edgar right now as Hannigan protects the pipes in net. Goes back to Hannigan, off the boards, finds Edgar. All the way up to the goal scorer, Joey Tavernisi, fighting on the sidelines with Corey Elanio. Shields away, goes on his left, finds the outlet to Millwood, who's poked away. Miller on it, off the boards. It's taken away by Millwood. 2 MISL veterans right there. As Millwood takes it into the open pressure. Cuts back on his left, shot, goal! Finished by Millwood. Puts Syracuse up by 3 again as he jumps over to hear it from the fans.
Wow. Michelle Millwood stole that ball in his defensive box and dribbled the entire way, and they let him. He's such a big presence on the field that the Lancers, look at him right here, they just keep backing up and backing up. And then this move right here behind the back, and then what a rip right here, laces it right past Hannigan. Hannigan cheats a little bit, anticipates it to go one way, and Millwood puts it the other way. What a finish by Millwood. What an individual effort, great individual effort by Michelle Millwood right there.
That's his first goal in a Silver Knights uniform after taking 7 shots in the Pennsylvania Roar game. How big is that for him to get his confidence up in new digs?
Yeah, and it's, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be his last because he is just a tremendous forward, great presence on the pitch, on the turf, and he's just a great individual effort there, again, by Michelle Millwood.
Definitely won't be his last, as in his career he's amassed 175 goals.
And welcome back to a Syracuse uniform for Michelle Millwood. What a way to come back. 10 minutes into his professional career as another Syracuse franchise, and he shows Syracuse that he's back.
Played for the Syracuse Salty Dogs in the USL A-League in 2004. Sure, you were on that team.
Yes, that was Michelle Millwood's rookie season as a professional soccer player. So it's for me, it's great to see a guy like that just excel the way he has in his professional career. And at that point, you're unsure of a guy like that. How is he going to do? Is he going to, he was a role player as a forward for the Salty Dogs, and now he's just flourishing in the indoor game.
Neto back in the action, collects, target play. He's guarded by Schindler. Lays off for Yelovich on his right, passes across the face, and he can't find Slavisa Uliparapovic. He was guarded by Steven Basso as they're trying to get it on the other end in the offensive pressure. Stolen away by Santana. Uliparapovic on his left, cuts back on his right, left-footed shot, pawed away.
He's just so crafty with the ball. That was just, for me, just so unusual that he didn't take that first opportunity to shoot, and he took that second opportunity, allowed Hannigan to get set.
Speaking of crafty, Janino trying to go with a little behind the foot pass as it finds Forbes in wide open pressure. Far shot off the boards. Couldn't hit the frame as Canardo Forbes found a lot of room.
But right there, Canardo Forbes is looking for that guy to attack that back post, and Neto is almost there.
Twice, Syracuse has tried to find its outlet valve in front of net, but it wasn't able to get there.
I mean, for a second there, I thought the Lancers were missing a guy. Doug Miller all the way forward. You could see how he anticipates to go forward. Right there, you can anticipate that Chantel might lose that ball, and he's off. He's already taken off towards the front, towards the attack.
Is it fair to call cherry picking on that one?
Doug Miller is he could be known as a cherry picker easily.
But he's cherry picked for 44 goals last year.
Yeah.
It works.
It does work, but the Lancers do suffer on defense. Sometimes they do need his help, but his job is to score goals, and just track back sometimes when they need him, and that's what he does.
Millwood holding the ball. Finding Bordeaux in the back. Nelson Santana. Wide to Toby. Bordeaux takes a spill as he tries to go out of the game. Ubi Parapovic takes his place and he receives the pass through the legs. Trying to keep with it on his left foot, but it's stolen away. It goes the other way. Jefferson Dargu with the dispossess on that one. But it went all the way to the goalkeeper. And Rochester really hasn't gotten a spell of possession for a while here.
No, I mean, you're watching this game, and it also almost looks like a veteran team against a rookie team. And a lot of the players that are coming off the bench, you really rarely have ever seen them on the indoor game. You've seen them in the outdoor game, but you haven't seen them in the indoor game. And it takes a whole season really to learn the game. It takes a while to learn the indoor game.
Poor giveaway by Santana. It's poked out to Edgar. Dargu back to Cole on the near side. He'll go all the way to Patrick Hannigan, the goalkeeper. Hannigan finding Miller. Juninho on the near side. Back to Edgar. Right as we talk about how they couldn't get possession, they're doing it right now. Juninho. Patient on the ball. Back to Hannigan. The 2011 Lancers Defensive Player of the Year. Outlets to Miller, the captain. Back to Edgar. Edgar winding with his left, fake shot. Poked to Miller, can't get it as it's headed away by Santana. Only to Paul Craig, who collects, and it goes all the way back to Patrick Hannigan. An opportunity for the Lancers to bring on some changes. Wide to Boughton. Boughton drags over his right. On his left as he's battling with Bo Yelovich. Canardo Forbes doubling, but the foul called as Forbes got a little too aggressive on that one. 5-2 with 1 minute left in the first period. A goal by Bo Yelovich and Michelle Millwood put the Knights on top. 5-2. Here is the free kick by Stephen Basso with his left foot. 2 men in the wall. Clipped over to the back post. Nobody's there. Poked away by Yelovich.
And that's a miscommunication between Basso and Hoxie. Hoxie was shooting into the middle and wanted that ball shot to him right away.
Canardo Forbes as he's tugged on the jersey by Basso. Wide to Santana. Fake shot. Winds his arm. Going across to Antonio Manfoot, the young man, 19 years old. Back to Forbes. Out wide to Toby as 25 seconds are left on the clock. Nelson Santana on the near side. 20 ticking. Operating the offense as the captain, shouting out instructions for his offensive players. It goes to Forbes. Cross pass to Toby is taken away. An odd man rush developing. Hoxie. Little slide tackle by Santana. Gets it poked away just enough for the team to collect. And that's the first period. 15 minutes of soccer have been played, and the Knights are up 5-2. We'll be back after a break with the second period between the Syracuse Silver Knights and the Rochester Lancers.
Dreams. Every day we dream. We dream of what our life could be, what it should be. We dream about all the possibilities. The possibilities that we could go to college, that we could get that perfect job, that we could buy a new house. The possibility we could become great. But becoming great isn't easy. It's not something we can fall into. It takes courage, determination. It takes a plan. It takes help and guidance from people you trust who can lead you in the right direction. Dreams. Every day we dream of becoming great. So get out there and find a partner that you can trust who can lead you through the game of life to greatness. Reach your dreams with Salve Bank.
welcome back inside the On Center War Memorial Arena. Back for MISL action with the Rochester Lancers and the Syracuse Silver Knights. The scoring was opened with 10-12 in the first period. Bo Yelovich hit a triple, put the Knights up by 3. Joey Tavermisi responded in the 6th minute with 6 minutes to go in the first period. Went 3-2, and then Michelle Millwood opened his scoring tally for the Knights with a goal with 5 minutes to go. That's how we got here. What are your impressions so far after a period of action?
It's the Silver Knights are very, very impressive right now. They're being very patient with the ball. They're knocking the ball around the turf like they've been here before, except right there, Chantel and Millwood, and that's going to happen where you have Chantel and Millwood. They've only been together for about a week and a half, so there's going to be those miscommunications, those nonverbal miscommunications that happen. Millwood's looking for the ball way forward, and Chantel's looking for him to check back.
Millwood was just signed by this team a week ago, right before the Pennsylvania Roar game. And he is trying to get himself on the score sheet again. Clanged off the boards. The ball finds its way all the way back to Brian O'Quinn. After Big Bo clanged it off the boards. O'Quinn to Chantel on the far side. Back to O'Quinn. Clipped into the target man, Neto on the far side board. It bangs off. Neto collects on a clean touch. Trying to get his turn as he rips off some advertisements. It's taken away by Jake Schindler. Little lift.
And it looks like that's going to be a battle that we got to watch all night between Jake Schindler and Neto. I mean, Neto had his hand on his shorts. You saw Jake Schindler and him nose to nose earlier in the evening, and that's a game. That's a matchup we're going to have to watch for the rest of the night.
A little unfair as Jake Schindler is 6 foot, Neto 5'8". He's got the size advantage, that's for sure.
Yeah, but Neto can hold off almost any defender, and he scores goals, man. He could turn on you in the drop of a dime.
Edgar with it after he was fouled by Slavisa Uvi Parapovic on the near side. Goes to the goalkeeper, Hannigan. Wide to Elliot Foskey. Swings around the horn to Schindler. Poked up to Doug Miller. His triple team and taken away by Nelson Santana. In the open court. Tackle by Foskey as he got stuck in there.
And Foskey's lucky that Doug Miller got behind him, because that put another defender behind him. That really could have almost been 2 minutes here.
Almost looked like a tactical foul.
Now it's about to become an issue.
Bernardo Forbes from deep. Caught up off the board. Clear up. Nelson Santana takes it. Lefty touch by Doug Miller.
And that's going to be a 2-minute penalty for sure, because Doug Miller was going straight to the goalie. Nelson Santana should not have grabbed Doug Miller's jersey. Let Brian O'Quinn take the goal. Bernardo Forbes was on his way back.
2 minutes for the captain, Nelson Santana. Honestly, he had to do that. Otherwise, one of the most lethal strikers in MISL play would have been one-on-one with Brian O'Quinn.
I think I would have taken my chances there, because you had Doug Miller way on the right-hand side. It's not like he's going right down the middle. And you had Bernardo Forbes coming back. He could have covered for Brian O'Quinn on any lethal shot that Doug Miller took. Yes, it is Doug Miller, but I don't think I'd take 2 minutes for that.
So it'll be a free kick on the near side. Janino will take it with 2 men in the wall. Shot off the far side board. Find its way to Edgar as they'll reset. Back to Janino, who just took the free kick. Flipped it wide to Miller off the volley. No. Doesn't test Brian O'Quinn, who hurls it down, trying to find Antonio Manfoot, but he didn't chase, opting for trying to find his defensive shape.
And you've got your diamond defense here with Vittorio Petrera, Domenico Vitali, and it's tough for those two guys to come right off the bench, and they're playing man down. That's their job, to play man down, and sometimes that's your only job for the game. And right now, those are the guys that they're depending on to kill this penalty.
Sweet save by O'Quinn as he potted away with his right hand. Pokes away there. Petrera back heels it, finding Antonio Manfoot off the boards, and he'll take the foul as Judinho took out his legs. Smart bit of play by Antonio Manfoot.
Now this Syracuse Silver Knights team last year was one of the best teams in the league. Was the best team in the league for power plays and for penalty killing.
Now Antonio Manfoot will take it out. 12-11 left in the game. Syracuse Silver Knights up 5-2. 40 seconds left. Across the field, Vitale takes it out, but Miller trying to come off and in. Manfoot killing time with 40 seconds left in the box for Santana as he's fouled. Killing more time. Gotta like what you've seen from Antonio Manfoot. He's a guy who really develops fouls when he's on the ball.
Yeah, he is very quick with the ball, and you could see he's still in that learning process of learning the indoor game. But really, this is a good opportunity for him to be on the penalty killing team to see if he can really do something for them.
They'll take a timeout right there as Antonio Manfoot drew the foul, calls the timeout with the Knights up 5-2. 37 seconds left in the sin bin for Nelson Santana.
And it's a good call to have that timeout because you can see that your penalty killing team is a little bit tired. So we'll give them a quick rest and let them try to kill this off for the next 37 seconds. The guys that have been pretty successful at it. You got Darren Toby, who's got the experience, and you got Petrera, Manfoot, and Vitale, who really have the energy to really kill it, and they want to kill it for their team. They're new guys, they're young, and they're rookies, so they want to show what they can do.
And it's all about finding your shape on that penalty kill right there. As the team tries to find that diamond shape with Manfoot at the top, and in on the sides it'll be Vitale and Petrera.
Yeah, you can either play in a box or you can play in a diamond, and I know Tommy Tanner, he's going to play in a diamond the majority of the time. Most teams play in a diamond because you can really shift a little bit quicker. Some teams play in a box, and it throws off that power play sometimes.
Different lineup out here for the penalty kill now, as it's Millwood, Ubi Parapovic, Toby, and Neto on. 11:53 left. The Knights up by 3 in the second period. 37 seconds left in the sin bin for Nelson Santana. Millwood plays to Ubi Parapovic. It's cleared right out over the boards. So can't do that in the indoor game. It'll go to the top of the arc. Millwood will take the free kick as more time ticks off of the penalty clock right there. Just 6 seconds as it's 33 left for Santana to sit down. Millwood wide to Ubi Parapovic. Back to Millwood. Collects and drags back. Going all the way back to the goalkeeper, Brian O'Quinn. Precious seconds tick off the clock. Poor giveaway as it goes. Taken away by Cole. Schindler. Edgar. Finds the run of Foskey in the offensive half.
And it's a good idea by Tommy Town. You had a set piece and then you had another set piece.
Little save by Brian O'Quinn as he didn't allow the rebound to spill out in front. And that's just enough time for Nelson Santana to jump out of the box. He collects right here. Spins and pirouettes. Looking for a shot, goes wide. Wild shot by Antonio Manfoot as it doesn't find the net. Banged off the boards by Edgar. Santana another bang off the boards. Foskey trying to collect. Clipped all the way back. Brian O'Quinn. As they'll allow more wholesale changes. Bo Yelovit back in the game with Chantel. The defenders. Clipped up to Millwood. Trying to find the run of Yelovich, but right there is more the same where they're not really communicating non-verbally. Hoxie gets the ball as the target man, guarded by Chantel.
And the Silver Knights successful again in penalty killing. #1 in the league last year for penalty killing. Teams just couldn't score on them. They were just very disciplined in that diamond defense. And again, you can see Toby's the one player from last year that was in that penalty kill team. And it looks like that they're translating some of the stuff from last year. right to Vitali, Petrera, and Manfoot.
As Doug Miller tried to develop an opportunity and he couldn't. Stolen away off of Manfoot's feet. Miller, saved by O'Quinn. One-on-one, big save by the Syracuse Silver Knights goalkeeper.
And that's that inexperience by Manfoot right there. He can't be trying to go one-on-one in the back.
Got to be safe and clip it into your target man. He'll sling back out of the game as Nate Bordeaux comes in. Slinged into Neto, off the board and cleared out as Hannigan found himself in a bit of trouble. Goes to Forbes. Big Bo, shot on, off the board again. Nate Bordeaux trying to collect as it goes all the way back to the Jamaican. To the target man, Neto. Pinning it between his legs. Action is allowed to complete. That'll take a foul by Neto. A free kick for the Rochester Lancers. 9:01 to go in the second period. The Knights up 5-2. After a Bo Yelovich triple and a Michelle Millwood goal in his first home game.
And that was a golden opportunity.
Nate Bordeaux steals it away from Hannigan. Bordeaux, save!
What a save by Hannigan, but what a mistake by Hannigan as well. Bordeaux would love to have that one back, but Hannigan, what a save really with that right hand right there.
When you give the ball away, you might as well save the opportunity that you created. Santana clips it in.
But as I was saying, that was a huge opportunity for the Lancers when they stole the ball in the defensive third of the Silver Knights against Manfoot. I mean, Doug Miller went for it on his own, but he had Pedrino wide open far post, and you saw Pedrino was frustrated. Doug Miller just stuck his hand up and said, I know. Buddy, I know, I saw it.
You're 44 years old. Think you've earned that opportunity. Goes wide to Ubi Parapovic. Shot blocked by Foskey. Goes back to Foskey. Not with the usual hair today. He usually spikes it up. Man on the ball, Foskey. Goes over wide to Edgar on the far side. Pedrino in the middle. Stolen away by Nelson Santana with a strong foot. He cuts to his right, poked away by Pedrino. Out to the far side, Ubi Parapovic. Finds its way to Toby on the near. Elenio with a dummy, trying to get it through, but Hannigan off his line.
Good heady play by Hannigan right there to see that, to recognize that.
Stolen away by Pedrino. He takes a tumble as Bordeaux's right on him. Possession for the Lancers. Boughton on the near side. It's a nice shape by the Syracuse Silver Knights. Has really no holes in it. A 3-on-2 developing. Chantel, Millwood, and Bordeaux. Finds the pass. He actually can't find the pass as Millwood was looking for Chantel on the far side.
Yeah, it was a good idea by Millwood. He was trying to get around the defender as Chantel was running up that right side so he could get it between the two defenders and hopefully have Chantel 1v1 on Hannigan, but just wasn't successful. He couldn't get around it enough. But it's a 3v2 situation. We saw a lot of 3v2 situations last year for the Silver Knights where they were not successful, and it's something I know Tommy Tanner has been working on for over a year now with these guys.
6:15 left in the second period. Knights up 5-2. Flipped in to Andrew Hoxie. Popped with his knee and headed forward to Millwood. Millwood collects and finds its way to Santana. The outside of the boot gets it. Darren Toby. Forbes with it. Finds Bo Yelovic. Back to Forbes. Santana. To the Serbian. Guarded by Hoxie, who steals it away and now is able to develop another opportunity, but it's a nice poke check by Yelovich. Gets around to Santana, cutting on his right, trying to get the shot off, but he couldn't get it off his foot. Taken on the ground as he was battling with Edgar.
Yeah,
Patrick Hannigan really lobbying for something more on that play.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I mean, you got Santana and Neto. You can see both of them are on the ground. They won't stop fighting on the ground. They'll just keep kicking at that ball until they could possibly get up on their own and win that ball back. But fortunately, they don't get up quick enough.
Chantel on the ground. He took a knock. He winces in pain, but it's on to Forbes. Play on. Stolen away by Edgar. As it's poke checked away. Miller on the ball. Off the board. Foskey, yes! Foskey finds the back of the net. Again in 2 straight matches. And that'll pull the Lancers to within 1.
And wow, what a battle right there. Edgar fought down that sideline the entire way and then saw Doug Miller. Doug Miller, what a great stuff off the boards. Foskey trailing from behind. And I know Chantel is frustrated because I know that him and Foskey got tangled up.
Second rebound goal for Foskey as he scored in the opener against Baltimore to launch the Lancers attack. The first goal of the season. We'll have a media timeout. The Silver Knights lead this one 5-4. 4:55 left to go in the second period.
And
Syracuse Silver Knights would like to give a birthday shout out to Alex Callan turning 8, Thomas Betts age 10, Aaliyah Borowski turning 12 tonight, Dimitri Ioannidis celebrating his 7th birthday, Enzo also turning 6, and Ashley Bowen turning 9. Happy birthday to all, and thank you for spending your party with the Syracuse Silver Knights. Also, happy birthday to Enzo Falso, turning 6 today. The Syracuse Silver Knights are proud to have Staff Leasing as their official payroll and employee services provider. Staff Leasing, serving Central New York for over 2 decades.
Back in the on-center War Memorial Arena, John Paul Chunga with my broadcast partner Mike Kerms. You're joining. 4:55 left in the second period. Syracuse Silver Knights up 5-4 just after an Elliot Foskey goal to put the Knights back to within a point. But in the meantime, Marco Chantel was sent to the sin bin for 5 minutes for some extracurricular activity, right, Mike?
yeah, I'm going to imagine it was dissent because you saw him really trying to go after Foskey. When Foskey and Chantel got tangled up a little bit earlier, about 2 minutes before that, and you saw Chantel, you just saw, I thought Foskey really got a little jab in there as he was coming across, and if you see it the replay, it kind of looks like it. And Chantel went down, and then just waited his moment, and then he kind of went off to Foskey after Foskey scored that goal. And he's in there for 5 minutes. Sides are still even aside. It's not a power play, but Chantel, they can't use Chantel for the next 5 minutes.
No power play, but he's out for 5 minutes on that one. Santana now with it as we get back to the action. Clings it into the goal scorer, Millwood. Millwood taken away from it. Joey Tavernisi gets in on it. He's battling with Millwood, clinging on the bottom of the floor. And it'll go the Knights' way. A free kick on the far side for the Silver Knights with 3:55 left in the second period. Two-man wall to face Toby, who has a free kick. Out to Santana, swings it over to Elanio's shot. Save.
That's a great save by Hannigan to come across. And Elanio hits a great shot as well.
Nice to see Corey Elanio getting into the attacking part of the pitch, as he's been one of the bright spots for this team that Tommy Tanner has definitely been talking up all year.
Yeah, you've seen Corey. He's looking for Corey Elanio to do quite a bit this year. He was a bright spot a couple years ago, and he's learned the indoor game really, really quick.
Had 45 points, 16 goals, and 14 assists in his very first year with the Syracuse Silver Knights, back when he was on the club in his first stint. After going to the Wilmington Hammerheads, he's back again in the Salt City.
Yeah, he was going to settle himself into the outdoor game, and then I think Tommy Tanner, with just some convincing, hey, you had a great season, man, your first season here. Come on back. And someone that Tommy Tanner is going to look forward to make something happen here in Syracuse.
Ball flies out of play. That'll be a free kick for the Silver Knights. Looking for Neto is Brian O'Quinn, who just couldn't find the head. And it's poked out of the air by Hannigan.
Actually, I think Neto's head couldn't find the ball. I think he had to go up just a little bit more.
Kind of ducked out of that header right there. Hoxie with it. Leads it back to Basso. Finds its way to Cole. Doing a little drag. Back to Basso. Whipped in off the board to Hoxie. Scored 2 goals in the opener. Clings all the way back. Shot by Basso. Ringed off the far board and it's taken by Ubi Parapovic. Back to Nelly. Forbes on the near side, next to the referee's circle. Down the line to Toby. Guarded by Hoxie. Back to Forbes. Whipped into Millwood. Can't find him. It'll go to Hannigan.
And Millwood's telling Slavisa, I want that ball into the corner. He wants the ball into the corner. He's your typical target forward. Wants to get that ball off of the corner boards and then do something with it.
After a slip by Toby. The ball was played into Doug Miller, but that was a 3-line pass. Can't do that in the indoor game. And it'll go all the way to the red dot on the yellow line for a free kick.
And this is a set-piece situation with Slavisa on top of the ball.
He'll take the free kick. Laid off for Toby. Shot on block. Fired by Millwood.
Unfortunately for Tommy Tanner, not the ideal guys that he would want on the field, on the turf at that moment. Petrera, Vitali, just inexperienced guys. They're guys that can score goals, but just inexperienced, and particularly at a set-piece situation.
Miscommunication by Vitali as he couldn't find the run as Ubi Parapovic played it behind him, expecting an overlap. Vitali gives it up to the experienced Slav. Back to O'Quinn, Slav holding. Finds its way to Domenico. Careless pass, bangs off of Pedrinho's face, and he collects now. Plays it out to Doug Miller. Back to Pedrinho. Trying to find Doug Miller. It's scooped away by Cole. Cole swings around, drag with his foot behind him, and releases pressure to Basso. Goes all the way back to Hannigan. Foskey. Schindler taking a long shot. Poked away. Rebound out. Now to Edgar. Step over. Pushed away by Neto. As the step over really helped him out to get by the little Brazilian, he was able to get past and force the foul. Free kick situation for the Lancers with 14.9 seconds left in the second period. They'll take a timeout.
And Neto's trying to claim that wasn't a foul. I just put my hands up. I mean, that was a pretty bad foul right there.
I just put my hands up and cleaned him.
Yeah.
But in this situation where 14.9 seconds on the clock in the second period, you have a free kick on the far side. What are you looking to do to get a goal on this?
Well, it's going to be they're setting it up right now. It's going to be a set piece. Most likely they're going to hit Doug Miller at one point. Either Doug's going to be on the ball or they're going to hit Doug Miller. Doug Miller's got the experience, and set pieces are the most dangerous things in the indoor game.
Defending for the Knights, what has to happen to make sure that it stays out of the net?
They have to make sure that they're very disciplined. There's going to be a free guy because there's going to be two guys on that wall. So there's definitely going to be someone free. They have to be able to anticipate where that ball is going to go, and they have to get there quick enough.
Looks like Doug Miller, Steven Basso, Joey Tavernisi, Andrew Hoxie, and Elliot Foskey into the game for the set piece for the Lancers. As for the Knights, it's going to be Millwood, Forbes, Toby, Yelovic, and Santana to defend this set piece.
So like I said, Doug Miller is going to be on the ball. They've got Hoxie in the wall, which is it's very interesting. I don't know if he's going to roll off maybe into the corner. You got Tavernisi and Bowden. They're crashing.
Miller on it. Left foot off the boards. It's clanged out and off the net.
And this is even more dangerous because now it's at the top. It's right at the top of the box, top of the circle of the box.
They'll take it at the top circle as you can't kick it out like the outdoor game just automatically. It's got to be off a deflection. And now again, Syracuse has to face a set piece situation. Miller with the long run up, Basso with the short one. 3 in the wall for Syracuse.
I think Boughton's a dangerous player here.
Miller blocked by Toby. And it's rejected all the way back. 8 seconds to go in the second period. Hannigan slings it in. 4 to go. Poked out of the air by O'Quinn. And that's the first half here at the On Center War Memorial Arena. Syracuse Silver Knights lead 5-4. We'll be back after the break. A 20-minute break for you. You're watching Syracuse Silver Knights Soccer on the Silver Knights YouTube page.
The Syracuse Silver Knights would like to welcome the 2013 Parade of Champions. These outstanding athletes exemplify the highest level of commitment and sportsmanship. The Syracuse Silver Knights are proud to welcome and honor the following teams: the Soul City Lightning, the Soul City Wildcats, Coliseum Chelsea,
Yelovich opens the. Kobe runs out. His replacement, Bo Yelovich, gets the pass. Cutting in on his right. Shot! Goal! Overlapping run by Forbes. Chantel. Triangle passing. Nate Bordeaux steals it away from Hannigan. Bordeaux, save!
What a
When it comes to wine, what really matters? Where you come from matters. Hand-picked matters. The right angle matters. High altitude matters. The Cabot Collection, when quality matters.
T-shirt time.
It is 12 10.
It's T-shirt time.
T-shirt time.
It's T-shirt time. Everybody knows it's T-shirt time.
T-shirt time.
It's T-shirt time.
T-shirt time.
It's T-shirt time. Everybody knows it's T-shirt time.
T-shirt time.
It's T-shirt time. Everybody knows it.
Welcome back inside the War Memorial Arena. It's the Lancers and the Knights, the throughway rivalry. So far, Knights have a 1-goal edge, 5-4. We're just ready for the third period to kick off. And before we get started with that, let's recap the first half, as it was a goal for Michelle Millwood in his first game at home. How big of a goal was that for him? Unassisted on the goal there.
Well, unassisted, and he brought it from end to end. He took the ball all the way from his defensive box and dribbled all the way. Really, you had to have someone from the Lancers had to step up. They all backed up. Someone's got to challenge that ball and put that pressure on Millwood. Don't allow him just to dribble all the way into your defensive third and then all of a sudden put a move on you and then rip it with your left peg.
A great individual effort by Millwood. Then it was responded by Elliot Foxy, the assist to Doug Miller. It's been a cagey affair so far, just 5-4 after a half of action.
Yeah.
How good are these defenses that we're seeing right now?
Well, I think it's just both teams. This is the first of 6 meetings for the year, and both teams are trying to feel each other out. Silver Knights playing very patient. I think they've had the majority of the possession this match, but really, I don't think it's really defense right now. I think it's both teams not playing as strong offensively on both sides of the game. For both teams, really, just not playing as strong offensively as they should be.
And we're ready for the third period of action. Silver Knights up 15-4. Ball clipped in as Toby's allowed to shield it away from Tavernisi. Ball down the line to Papaleo. Local guy went to CBA in Syracuse. It's chipped in. Forbes steals it away. Left-footed ringer! The goal for Forbes. The lead for the Knights extends to 3 with 14:35 left in the third period.
And you're talking about LJ Papaleo getting on the turf, and he fought in the corner there, allowed that ball to pop out to Canardo Forbes, and Canardo Forbes, he might be the guy that starts the half with a goal for the Silver Knights. 12 seconds last game, 25 seconds into the second half this game. Great finish by Canardo Forbes. Nothing Patrick Hannigan could do about that one.
It was the great hold-up play by Papaleo that created the goal, and Canardo Forbes finished it off. Kicking off again, 14:30 left. Token pressure by Neto as the Knights ramp it up. Clipped over the top of Bordeaux as it goes to Basso. His touch is a little wild, and it goes Coriolanio able to start an offensive pressure for the Knights. Down to the boards to Neto. With a man on his back as he clips it back. Elanio banging off the boards and falls down. Cleared out all the way to Neto, who has to collect it near the half line. To Chantel, who after that 5-minute spell in the penalty box is back on the field.
And that does hurt the Silver Knights because Chantel does have experience, and you really need him on the field. And for him to be in the box for 5 minutes, that doesn't help the Silver Knights at all.
Doug Miller and Darren Toby getting tangled up right in front of Brian O'Quinn's goal.
And you can see the respect that everyone has for Doug Miller. Brian O'Quinn went right into Doug Miller and just reaching down, hoping that Doug Miller's not hurt because he doesn't want to be the one. No one wants to be the one that ends this great career of Doug Miller.
And it's still going strong after last season's MVP campaign. Shot by Forbes, rings across the face of goal. Doesn't test Hannigan. Whipped up, Rybarapovic shouts for handball up from the Lancers bench. Puts it off the board to Neto.
And you see what the Silver Knights are doing. You didn't see enough of this. Really putting the ball into that corner and letting Neto hold off his defenders and people running off the ball. And it's happened twice now. Canardo Forbes is trying to run off of Neto. Actually, we saw earlier it was Coriolanio, and then it was Neto.
Seems to be a brighter start for the Silver Knights than they had in the first half. As the ball's over to Hoxie. Left-footed shot blocked away by Toby. Pinged off the board, and he's double teamed by Tavernisi and Hoxie. Off the referee, and it finds its way to Forbes. The bounces are going the Knights' way. Clipped into Millwood, trying to fizz it across the face of goal. It's cleared out, but back to Millwood. Four-time champion off the board, finds Uli Parapovic. And that was communication that didn't happen in the first half.
And that's a brilliant goal. That's a brilliant goal, all done by Michelle Millwood. You saw the diagonal run. Bernardo Forbes won that ball in the defensive third, and Michelle Millwood makes a diagonal run, starting to run into the corner. He gets that ball. He's patient on the ball. He looks for Slavisa. At first, he tries to slot it. He doesn't. He's not successful. Gets the ball back. He's patient, and then what a classic goal right there off that third board. Slavisa just with a little toe poke. Perfect timing by Slavisa. Perfect timing by Michelle Millwood. That's a brilliant, typical indoor goal.
A 4-goal run by the Knights to open up the second half. It's just been 12 minutes to go. The Knights up 9-4. That was Slav's 4th goal on the year, adding to his MISL Team of the Week effort. Ball shot long by Janino, trying to catch Brian O'Quinn off his line, but he can't. Bordeaux with it. Little clip out by Basso. Token pressure. 2-13s going at it in the middle of the park. Stolen away. Miller looking on his left. Gets some space. Blocked away by Bo Yelovic. And he'll go the other way. Stuck in is Foskey.
And that was a great tackle by Basso to really win it in the midfield and to get Miller that opportunity. And Miller just with another great quick touch around Chantel and a quick snap, but Yelovic does a good job to cover for Brian O'Quinn. Otherwise, that was going in the back of the net.
Ball clipped into Neto.
And again, you can see that they're trying to, so really Tommy Tanner said, listen, we got to get the ball into the corners a little more. Let's use Neto and his strength. And
Uli Parapovic trying to find Neto in the middle. He takes a dive. No call as the fans scream for the official to make that. Toby gets the ball and clings it off the boards, only to Patrick Hamian. Quick release as it's clipped out by Nelson Santana, the skipper. Oh, come on. There it is. Goal, Nelson Santana. Sorry about that for the technical difficulties, but we're back. Syracuse Silver Knights soccer taking on the Rochester Lancers. And meanwhile, while you were gone, in the 9:58 mark, Nelson Santana scored a beauty from Michelle Millwood.
Yeah, and that was all Michelle Millwood bringing that ball up 1v1 and just beating his defender. He's just so quick, and all of a sudden he gets a shot off, but the ref doesn't play the advantage. He calls a 2-minute penalty, and they score right off of that 2-minute penalty. And Josh Rive says, let's take a timeout. This is 3 goals right off the bat in the first 5 minutes of the second half. We got to regroup.
A lot of defending for the Lancers in this half that you didn't see from the Silver Knights forcing on Rochester in the first.
Yeah,
the Knights are going on a 6-0 run.
Yes, they're pressing more. You can see that they're using Neto into the corner, and they're making more runs into those corners and utilizing the target forwards and allowing players to run off of those target forwards. I mean, this one was a set piece, and it's just a great finish. Just a one-touch snap by Nelson Santana. That's a good finish by Nelson Santana.
Millwood has been the man of the half. An assist and a goal in the second half so far with 9:58 left to go. The Knights are up 11-4. We're ready to resume play after the timeout by Josh Wright. Goes to Foxy, outside the boot off the board, trying to find Miller, but Chantel clears it away. Neto collecting, but Foskey steals it away. Pickpocket. Schindler out wide to Tavernisi on the far side, guarded by Bowe. Double team by Bordeaux as it's up against the boards. Schindler joins the party. All the way back to Edgar. Miller clipped in off the board. No sir, as Bordeaux is able to take it away. Off the glass and clipped in. No, all the way to Edgar. Back to Foskey, left-footed shot, can't get it to go, but the rebound's poked in by Doug Miller. By Tavernisi.
And that's really a mistake by Nate Bordeaux. Nate Bordeaux tries to use the boards, pass it back to Brian O'Quinn, and Chantel could not really tried to shield it off. Didn't happen. Brian O'Quinn had to kick it back out. Edgar gets the ball, makes a smart play. Foskey takes a shot. Tavernisi there's to finish. Just a real mistake by the Silver Knights, and the Lancers execute and take advantage of it.
That's a really key goal for the Lancers, that it was kind of getting away from them. Now it pulls them within 5. 11-6 now. Ball played in front by Forbes. Couldn't find Neto. He's down.
That's yes, a key goal for Lancers. This is not good for the Silver Knights.
He is a key man for this Silver Knights attack, and he is down on the ground, rolling around in obvious pain.
Well, you saw the way that he stepped in. His leg was straight when Hannigan was kind of sliding to the side there.
Really, this could change the game if he's out of it. He's been a key man as they've gone off the boards to him as the target man.
Not just the game. This could change the season.
I'm a hot babe out jogging.
Hopefully
I'm not making sure this
nothing
stays
that
at
bad.
10
But you
when
can
you
see
drive
Tommy
by.
Tanner just walking ever so slowly out there.
You're checking
He
out
wants
my
to see
awesome
what's going
headband
on, whether there's
when-
prize possessions. Number 3 in the league in scoring.
That's when you
last
find
year.
out your cut rate insurance.
Trainer
it ain't
Larry
paying for
Goodwin,
this.
the
So
team
get
doctor
Allstate.
Todd Battaglia,
Save cash and be better protected
out
from
there to
mayhem,
attend
like me.
to an all-MISL first-team man. He's been great in the indoor game all his career. He won the 2011 Rookie of the Year with the Comets. This is a big loss if he's out of this game, and like you said, the season.
Well, the way that they're tending to him right now, I don't think he's going to be back today.
But the good thing for the Silver Knight squad, they have options up top. You have Michelle Millwood. You have Slavisa Uriparovic, who shifts into that Neto role if he's not able to return after this.
Well, you might see LJ Papaleo might be getting a little bit more time. You could see Coriolanio slipping into that forward position a little bit more. So you're gonna see a little bit of change there, and you could see that Hannigan's describing the Millwood and Elanio what possibly happened to Neto there.
Definitely a tough loss, but the Knights will have a lot of options to look forward to. It's been a bright start in the second half for the Knights, going on a 6-2 run. What has been the key for Syracuse to go on this extended goal streak?
Well, again, they're pressing. They're putting the ball into the corner, and they're having the guys run off of the target forward into the corner. You also mentioned about the Rochester Lancers. That goal was really important for them because going down 6 points and then going into a timeout, scoring 1 minute later, that shows Josh Reif is saying, guys, listen, get yourselves in gear, or we're going to be in trouble here. We got to score the next goal.
And they've got to stop the goals, as Coach Reif, I talked to him during the week, and it's really been a focus defensively to shore it up, not be the same team that they were last year, giving up the most goals in MISL play.
Yeah, you can't. It's tough to give up 18 points, and they happen to do it. You want to get those games down to 11 points against, 12 points against, and even less.
Neto walking gingerly as he needs help from the trainer and Team Doc. That's a big one for the Silver Knights, as now new people will be going into new roles they haven't seen before.
Yeah, and you could see the camaraderie in the league. All the players know what each player goes through to be on that pitch, and how much. I mean, this is a hard game, and you could see all the players on both teams just saying, "Come on, man, hang in there." And it's a good camaraderie around the league, not just within the team, but in the league.
And you hope he gets back on the pitch soon. Shifting into his place, though, looks to be Michelle Millwood off the bench, who has been tidying his touch. He's gotten 2 goals in the game, his first 2 with the Syracuse Silver Knights. We're back into action as it's hurled down the field by Hannigan, headed away by Toby. Now it finds its way to Millwood. Millwood on the far side, dribbling into the center. Forbes trying to play it into Ubi Parapovic, making a run on the far side. Back to Toby. Now Santana. Back for Forbes. Down the line to Millwood. Shifting into that Neto roll. Stab away by Foskey, keeps him up a little bit. Andrew Hoxie takes it away for the dispossess. But he's careless in the touch. Ball's pinned over right in front of us. Back to Foskey. To the far side. Cole. Back to Hannigan. Out wide to Miller. He's got Pedrinho cutting on his right. It goes to him off of a shot off the boards. Now cleaned in. Pedrinho getting a good run at it. Forbes cuts back. It's a high pressure as now it finds Toby's foot. Resets to the goalkeeper, O'Quinn.
You gotta like Darren Toby. I mean, he just plays so simple. He gets the ball and he plays a simple pass. He does his job. He's that guy that Josh Reif was talking about earlier. He needs guys that are gonna play their role. And for Tommy Tanner, that's Darren Toby. So if some of the guys on the Lancers could watch Darren Toby, just plays simple. Gets the ball, plays it off, and gets off the pitch. Gets off the turf.
Shot blocked away from Chantel. But talking to Coach Tanner during the week, he really talked up Darren Toby as he's one of the quiet guys on the field, but he does his job.
That's exactly it. He comes on, he knows his role. I'm not the guy that's going to score goals. I'll get a few goals here and there, but I got to play defense and then start building out of the back. and he helps build out of the back, gets on the turf for about for the amount of time he's supposed to be on, and gets off.
And he's played his role in the back magnificently so far, as the Lancers have just scored 6 goals. Six points on the day. Papaleo getting into that Neto role. This is a target man. Shifts back to Santana. Careless pass is taken away by Miller, and he's fouled by Slavica Ubi-Parapovic. Gets the blue card, so he'll be out for 2 minutes.
And I don't think that's a 2-minute penalty. Slavica was just trying to get around Doug Miller here, and unfortunately, Slavica ran into Doug Miller, and Doug fell. There was no dive there. It was just unfortunate right there. I'm surprised that they took the 2-minute. I'm surprised they took the blue card out there.
Now it goes into that really lauded penalty kill of Manfoot, Vitali, Toby, and Nelson Santana. Earlier in the game, it was Petrera in the Santana role at the back of that diamond. 6:20 to go. The Knights lead 11-6. A foul here right in front of the penalty box as Edgar takes a tumble from an Antonio Manfoot challenge. Ball gets back to Edgar from Janino. Wide. Miller.
And this is where the Lancers need to start showing their patience when they're on top of the ball.
Off the board and a little save away by O'Quinn. Goes to Miller. Lefty shot. Finds the feet of Hoxie.
Got to get your shape again, Nelson. Nelson's got to get back to the back of that diamond. He's got to get his shape.
He's organized the defense. Now the shot's hit over and hits the top of the net by Janino. Not enough patience on that attack from the Lancers. It goes out for a Brian O'Quinn throw-in. All the way looking for Millwood. Tangled and takes a tumble. Tolly fighting it on the near board. Hoxie with it. Miscommunication with Nelson Santana, who's able to control with it. Clipped in, more time ticks off the clock. 50 seconds left in the power play, 5:22 in the game. Knights up 11-6. Edgar on the ball, Manfoot in front of him. Santana guards and wide. Janino cross pass. Wild shot by Doug Miller. He didn't connect with it like he wanted to.
No, and it's a great pass by Janino to see that, to see Doug Miller. But it's really good defense, again, by the Silver Knights, because they just weren't able to shift quick enough over. But lucky for them, Doug Miller didn't have his best shot on that one. But still, the Silver Knights defense is very, very solid. And right here is an opportunity for the Lancers, and they don't take it, because you had Millwood and Vitali really caught upfield too high.
Just about 15 seconds left in the penalty. And then Slav jumps off the bench. Goes wide. Another skidded effort by Miller as he didn't connect with it the way he wanted to. Slav jumps out of the penalty, and that is killed by the Knights. Right as he gets on, he picks up another foul.
And it's another penalty kill, that's right. So they're 100% this game.
Tops in the league, I bet.
Yes.
Again. But that was good, a penalty kill by the squad, as they really kept their shape and let the Lancers just pass the ball around as they couldn't find any holes.
Well, and the Lancers aren't moving the ball quick enough. You'll see when the Silver Knights face Baltimore and Milwaukee how quickly the ball is moving around the 5 guys.
Speaking of Baltimore, the ex-blast man Millwood on the ball. Out wide to Bow. He wants another triple. Goes inside the triple arc and can't get the shot off. He battles with it, and a foul down by as Gary Boughton and Bo Yelovich get tangled up. Free kick for the Lancers. Go back to Hannigan. Jake Schindler jumps onto the pitch. Foskey. Tavernisi. Goal scorer. Back to Foskey, the other goal scorer. Schindler on the near side. Finds its way to Foxy on the far. Back to Schindler. Tavernisi. Schindler. Ball back to Foskey. Basso. Clips it in wide to Tavernisi. Shot on by Foskey. Blocked away and into the hands comfortably to Brian O'Quinn. Really slow as they tried to rotate it through and find the holes in the Syracuse Silver Knights defense. But it's all the way down to LJ Papaleo. He's great hold-up play. Back to Bo Yelovich. Chantel. Bordeaux flames off of the referee.
Tim Tima, you got to get out of the way.
He's a former player. He should know, right? Players don't like it when the referees touch the ball. Ball clipped in to Hoxie. Back to Janino. Fires off the post. And back out. The Knights dodge a bullet. Goes all the way back. Hannigan cleverly goes against the grained Adga. Floated in. And out. Papaleo with it. He gets it in open space. But it's clipped down. And a foul. A Gary Boughton. As LJ Papaleo tried to get around with the chip over. And he got fouled by Boughton right next to the board.
It's a good effort there by LJ Papaleo.
On comes Elenio after Papaleo's shift is done. And Millwood. Down the line to Elenio. All the way back to Millwood. Off the boards to Ubi Parapovic. Clipped over his head. Trying to find Elenio on the volley, but he can't connect.
Just brilliant the vision that Slavisa Ubiparapovic has. Michelle Millwood puts a beautiful ball to the corner for Slavisa, and he realizes that Elenio is cutting down the middle right there. Good vision by Ubiparapovic, but it's not a surprise here.
And good communication as they tried to connect on that chance right in front. Ball played to the far side as Manfoot's on the ball now. Cleveland product. Gives the ball away. Miller sent in and off the head of Tavernisi. Couldn't find the back of the net. Millwood, some more dribbling. He did this before. Fires. Oh, just wide.
Wow, he's just so smart, and really Santana's got to be sitting there. He's got to get himself sitting there at that back post. He was waiting a little bit off that back post, and Millwood's going to look for somebody to just sit there for the tap-in, and Santana didn't read it.
Michelle's been doing that all game, trying to go to find the target forward, but Nelson Santana picking up another blue card for the Silver Knights. He'll go out.
Again, not a smart play by Nelson Santana right there.
This hot chocolate
Nelson just got to contain. You've got Hoxie over there. He's contained into the boards. Just keep him there.
Hot chocolate is salty,
And with
sweet, and totally
21.4
amazing. Try one today.
seconds left
America runs on Dunkin'.
in the third period, it was Andrew Hoxie who took a tumble. Nelson Santana sent him into the boards. 2 minutes in the penalty box.
Yeah, I think Nelson Santana went in there just a little bit too hard at the wrong time.
But now, that 100% penalty kill back on the field. It'll be at the top, Bordeaux, Toby, Vitali, and Petrera. Swinging it wide, Janino taking a long shot. Headed out by Petrera. And all the way back to Hannigan, receiving applause from the Syracuse faithful. Juninho goes, whiffed on the shot, Tavernisi, because it was the end of the period. Third quarter's done. The Knights lead 11-6 after 2 goals from Michelle Millwood in the game. He also added an assist to Slavisa Ubi-Parapovic. Then the Lancers clawed back. It's 11-6 after the end of the third quarter. We'll be back with the fourth to finish it off here at the On Center. Back for the fourth quarter here in the On Center at Dave and Buster's Field. It's more MISL action for you. Syracuse Silver Knights and the Rochester Lancers in the I-90 thruway rivalry. Thus far, it's been Michelle Millwood who's had 2 goals on the day and an assist. But after a half that started with a bright 6-0 Knights run, Joey Tavernisi scored his second on the night to cut the Knights lead to 5. So fourth quarter, and the Knights are on a penalty kill as Nelson Santana was sent to the sin bin after a boarding call on Andrew Hoxie. So on the field for Syracuse is the penalty kill of Millwood, Petrera, Toby, and Vitale. Millwood with a long run of it. Hannigan's able to dribble out. He's keeping the high pressure. Now it finds its way to Edgar, and Antonio Manfoot sprints on in Millwood's place. Wide to Miller. Back in the center to Juninho. Edgar as it shifts to the near side. Taken away by Vitale, and now Manfoot one-on-one with Juninho. Cutting him both ways. Finds it on his left foot. It's taken away by Edgar. He keeps on battling Manfoot, and no foul call. as this will kill precious seconds. 55 left on the power play for the Lancers. Goes out wide to Petrera. Petrera cuts back over to his right. Back to Toby in the center. Lefty shot, no good, as it's over the end. Saved by Hannigan. This penalty kill looks a lot like a power play.
Oh, absolutely. That's good stuff by Petrera, Toby, Vitale, and Manfoot.
We'll go out for a corner kick as Millwood comes in the game for Manfoot.
So when you're in a penalty kill situation and you have a free kick, you bring on your set piece guys. And now you'll see Petrera's back on. And Millwood was supposed to go off there and allow Manfoot to come on and do his job.
But he'll stay on, kill the penalty. With Vitale, Toby, Petrera, and Millwood now. Edgar back to Juninho on the near side. Long shot, pawed away, but the rebound's cleaned out by the Silver Knights. Off comes Millwood, back comes Manfoot. And he'll pressure the ball immediately. Gotta love what you're seeing from Manfoot as he wins the ball there. Well, spoke too soon.
I mean, just relentless by Manfoot. Just good energy. Just wants to win that ball at all costs.
And they kill the penalty. Nelson Santana jumps into the play. Shot over the top by Edgar. Fruitless. On the power play are the Lancers on the night.
Yeah, some of their shots though from outside the arc, really just not great shots. I mean, you've seen a lot of the Lancers shots just not on frame, and if they're not on frame, they're not going to go on goal. They're not going to go in the goal.
Is it a credit to this penalty kill that they've really kept their diamond shape that you've diagrammed for us?
Yeah, they've been very disciplined in there, and as well, with that happen, when you kill a penalty, particularly 3 times, it lifts your team up. You know, you don't have your leaders on the team on the turf, and really, they're still killing the penalty. They're still winning the game.
Shot off the board by Papaleo, and he keeps up the strong pressure. Bo Yelovich now goes all the way to O'Quinn.
And what's impressive, a lot of the local players tonight, Papaleo, Petrera, Vitale, Bordeaux, they're just doing a great job for Tommy Tanner, and fantastic job. They're new players, they're rookies, and they're just doing a great job. Nate Bordeaux played last year, and Petrera was on the team last year, but they don't have 30, 40 games yet where you could say that they're experienced players. They're still learning the game.
Hoxie now with it as it goes in between the legs and off the boards. Can't find the back. Squeezed out by Elenio. Dispossessed. Now to Pedrinho. Pushed off the ball is Nelson Santana. Pedrinho isn't a fan of that call. He chips it up to Millwood. Down the field. Clicked on back by Schindler. Out to Pedrinho. Takes a tumble. Hoxie holds up. Whipping around his leg is Nelson Santana. He'll pick up another foul.
Yeah, Santana's got to start being careful here. Just with getting all these fouls and possibly going in the box again could be detrimental for Santana's match tonight.
He's already gone 3 times to the sin bin. Off the board, headed up, twice into the penalty box. Sorry about that. Goes out wide.
Yeah, Uba Parapovic had the other one there.
He's trying to credit him for one that he didn't get.
Yeah, that's a credit he doesn't want to take.
But he's been picking up the fouls. Finds its way to Ubi Parapovic. Elenio on the far side. He'll fire a shot. Clangs off a body. Goes out of bounds. But it went off of Elenio as well. It went off a Lancers defender, and it'll go out for a corner kick. 11:23 left in the 4th period. Knights up 11-6 against the Lancers. Timeout for the Lancers. They'll talk this corner kick over. Not a lot of scoring since that 6-2 run in the 3rd quarter. What's happened that's changed the defensive outlook?
Well, it's just it's been an up and down game. You don't really
Dreams.
just both teams
Every
are going
day
back
we
and forth,
dream.
and just
We
they're not
dream of
putting
what
it
our
in the
life
back of the
could
net.
be,
You don't see a lot of
what it
shots
should
on
be.
frame. You're seeing shots
We dream
that
about
are going
all the
above,
possibilities.
over and above, not really actually
Possibilities that
finishing
we
on
could go
those
to college.
opportunities.
That we could get that perfect job, that we could buy a new
Tavernese
house.
had an opportunity.
The possibility we could become
Hannigan's
great.
made a couple good saves. O'Quinn's made some good
But becoming
saves.
great isn't easy.
Just didn't
It's not
happen.
something we can fall into. It takes courage,
And as
determination.
this game is
It
about
takes
to
a plan.
wind down,
It takes help and guidance from people you trust
The
who can lead you in the right direction.
going for an undefeated
Dreams.
start
Every day we dream of
for their
becoming
second
great.
win after
So
defeating
get out
the
there and find a
Pennsylvania
partner that you
Roar
can trust who can lead you through the
8-7
game of life to
first
greatness.
3 goals by
Reach your
Lisa
dreams
Ubiparapovic.
with Salve Bank.
Took the night for the Knights last Friday. And the Lancers are looking to avoid an 0-2 start. They dropped a 19-8 decision against the Baltimore Blast, but the defending champions, that's a tough game to have as your inaugural of the season.
Yeah, it's a tough game to start the season off with.
We're here for the corner kick, as it is Michelle Millwood on the ball. Bo Yelovic, Salisa Ubiparapovic, Canardo Forbes, and Nelson Santana. All played into Slav. Slav holds. Back heels to Millwood. Flings off and out of bounds. Over the boards. This will go to the top of the arc. It's another warning. Nelson Santana will take the free kick. 3 in the wall. Forbes flanks him to his left. Slav to his right. Millwood crashing in with Yelovich. Goes to Forbes. Clangs off a defender. Finds its way to Slav. All the way back to Brian O'Quinn. Finds Forbes, the Jamaican international. Back to Santana. Pass is wild and it finds Edgar, who's able to lead it up the pitch. Taken off his hand though, and it'll give possession away
Actually,
to the Knights.
Yeah, it hit someone's hand on the bench, so those guys have to be aware that it's coming down. But what you saw was another giveaway by Nelson Santana, something you don't see a lot from Nelson Santana. Usually he's the leader. He rarely gives the ball away, and you've seen that a few times tonight. Just unforced errors sometimes by him, which is not usual.
Speaking of an unforced error, Marco Chantel almost careless with the ball as Big Bo is coming off of the turf. Didn't communicate that with Chantel. Toby on in place of Bo. Toby will get the ball. Wide to Forbes and back to Brian O'Quinn. Chantel cuts back on his left. They're playing with it in the back a little bit as Boughton gives them some pressure. Served up to Millwood. Nate Bordeaux with it. It's off the boards. He's trying to stick with it, but goes too far on the carom. Cole tries to clear it. Falls to Edgar. Edgar trying to clear it up the pitch. Can't get it. It finds its way to Foskey, who's able to control the ball and bring some stability to this possession. 9:30 left. The Lancers lead by 5, 11-6. It's dumped into Tavernese. Chantel off the board. Still at the board. O'Quinn comfortably picks it up as the caroms led straight into his hands. Rolls out to Petrera. Back to O'Quinn. Santana on after a quick change and a little breather. Looking for the target play of Papaleo, fighting with Schindler. Can't get it. Serve back up. Santana to defend on Hoxie. He does well, keeps the ball. Gets it to Toby. Toby all the way back to O'Quinn. Goes all the way wide to Ubi Parapovic. Brazilian Chantel. Elenio on the near side, cutting back, trying to find space in the middle of the park. Back to Slav. Slav one-on-one with Basso. Right-footed shot blocked away by Schindler. Papaleo does the dirty work, gets the ball back to Bo. Goes to Chantel and then back to Papaleo. Clings it off the boards, and somehow it goes in. The former CBA player scores at home, and he goes to the crowd to celebrate. The Knights are up 13-6.
And look at Papaleo. Goes down there. His girlfriend runs to the sidelines, and he gets a kiss, free kiss from his girlfriend. Good for him. His father's got to be so proud. His father, goalkeeper coach, assistant coach on the bench. Nice little finish there for LJ Papaleo.
Tidy finish for LJ Papaleo, his first on the year.
And it's good stuff by the Silver Knights all around. Just knocking the ball, good patience, really great patience on the ball, and just the entire time held on to that ball, and LJ got himself a goal. Just shielding it on the outside, being a target, works it around the boards, and just gets past Hannigan. That happens sometimes.
That's his first ever MISL goal for the Syracuse native.
It's his first professional goal there.
It's a nice one to score as it puts the Knights up 13-6 with 7:30 left to go in the game. Santana finding Bordeaux in the middle. Forbes with it now. Wide to Yelovich on the far side, trying to clip it in off the boards to Millwood, posting up. He turns, fires it off the glass.
And he hits a perfect ball right there. No one really shooting into that box there. It's a great ball by Millwood, and that's just going to take some time.
Bordeaux clings up the up iron. Bar wouldn't be helpful for him.
Nice little move by Bordeaux there, and hits the upper 90 corner right there, both posts.
Wide open play as Santana bears in on him. He tried to cut back, but it was taken away. He gets it this time, and it's taken out by Patrick Hannigan. He'll receive a blue card.
Actually, the blue card seems to be on Janino right there.
Janino, rather. Off the ball.
But you could see. Right here, what?
Santana had some wide open play right there. One-on-one on the goalkeeper, but he couldn't find an opportunity to take a shot as he really cut back. But it all started from that Bordeaux shot.
And Tommy Tanner's out there. He wants this inside the box, and unfortunately they put it outside the box. And right there, you know, that was a foul. And then Santana, he slows down. He slowed down on that breakaway. And really it was a 2-on-0 at that time. Bordeaux gets it, gets back to Santana, and then Santana gets fouled. But I think right there, Santana's got to take advantage of the situation. It's a 2-on-0.
Would have been the virtual dagger at 15-6 with only 6 minutes left to play. It'll be a power play situation for the Silver Knights as they'll be getting the ball after that. It's been a bright start for the Knights so far in this fourth quarter. LJ Papaleo with that goal. Looking for another. Is one more goal one to seal it on the night?
You can never say it's going to seal it between these two teams. I mean, it's a big distance right there. It would be a big challenge for the Lancers to come back 15-6.
But first they have to deal with this free kick. Michelle Millwood stands over the ball, and they have to kill a penalty. So it'll be the power play lineup of Millwood, Slav, Nelson Santana, Forbes, and Elenia. The shot is fired off the boards. It's out to Forbes. Back to Santana. What do you like to see if you're the Silver Knights on this power play?
Just patience. Just be patient, and when that opportunity happens, when someone's sitting at the back post, just play it to them for that little tap in.
All finds the foot of Millwood. Little drag.
You know,
wide to Forbes.
Yeah. There's three guys on there that have been with the Silver Knights for 3 years now. You got Elenio on there, and that's the one I'm talking about right there. Just be patient. When the guy's sitting at the back of the post, he scores a goal.
Diagonal pass by Elenio. Finds Slav, and he scores another goal. Something that you like to see, because Coach Tanner challenged Slavisa this year to score more points. Looks like he's doing it thus far through 2 games.
Well, he struggled last year a little bit. A lot more was expected of him last year, and he just didn't do it. And now you see him doing it, in the first 2 games of the season. But that's a brilliant goal right there. That's what you want to see from a team that's a veteran team on a power play. That's what you see from a Milwaukee. That's what you see from the Baltimore Blast. That's what you're going to see from the Silver Knights this year. A patient power play, and then all of a sudden, someone's sitting at the back post for a little tap-in.
And that leaves 6:06 in the 4th. And an interesting decision by Josh Reif, as he'll decide to put the extra attacker on in Edgar to give the Lancers some more options up front. Goes wide to Edgar. Back Janino trying to dummy his way into Cole. Back out. Punched out, and a wild shot by Janino. That's been the story all day. Wild shots from outside of the box. They're not going to get you goals if they're not on frame.
Yeah, we've seen that quite a bit tonight by the Lancers. And the one thing that just came to me is that Josh Reif is the coach this year. Last year was Jimmy Hesh. The year before, Billy Andracki. The Silver Knights, Tommy Tanner. So you get some consistency. You get a style of play, and you're starting to see the style of play with the Silver Knights. The style of play for the Lancers has changed every single year because you have a different coach that has different methods and different theories on the game.
And it's got to help that it's also the same players with the same coach. Neto, Nelson Santana, Bo Yelovich. How much of a help is it that this team has a core that they're willing to build around with other pieces?
Yeah, the Lancers have quite a few players also that have been around quite a few years, but still, that coaching strategy and that coaching style of play, the style of play for the team has changed every single year. That's a big part of it.
It's hard for the same players to get a coaching strategy that was different from the last guy.
That's right.
Clanged off the boards and into Doug Miller. Blocked off as Bolton tried to launch the trigger, but he couldn't. Fire. Down the field is Bordeaux chasing it off the boards and finds the way to Janino, as it was an opportunity for the Knights. And then back the other way to Lancers. Hoxie shot blocked away by Chantel. Fired by Bolton, and it's cleared by Brian O'Quinn. Sent down the field, and Edgar is able to collect, wearing the extra attacker jersey. Changes for the Syracuse Silver Knights. They're allowed that with 4 minutes, 15 seconds to go. Up 15-6. Sent in by Foskey. Can't find the feet as it fizzes wide across Brian O'Quinn's net. Goes wide Schindler, back to Tavernisi. Tavernisi collecting. Schindler with the pressure on O'Quinn, and he'll scoop it up. 3:50 to go, 15-6. And a timeout for the Syracuse Silver Knights.
I mean, one thing we really haven't talked about was Brian O'Quinn. I don't think he's seen a lot of shots tonight where he's had to be the shot stopper, but what a great story. Brian O'Quinn ACL surgery on the off season, and he's back in these first 2 games and only has 6 points against him. And if they can hold us, just tremendous 6 points and 7 points in the first 2 games.
It also helps when one of the fixtures in the lineup is your goalkeeper. He's been with this team for a while, and he's able to organize some of those new guys on this team, especially in the penalty kill, when it's all new guys. And it's helped that Brian O'Quinn has been a steady guy back there in net.
Yeah, Brian O'Quinn, I mean, he's been with the team all 3 seasons. In the first season, he was a backup. But really, I mean, he could have won the job in that first season. It was just really a matter of time that he was going to win that job. And they made the decision to go with Brian O'Quinn in year 2. And he was tremendous last season, coming off of an ACL injury now in this third season. He's played pretty well tonight, although not a lot of shot-stopping opportunities for him.
Not a lot of shots to save because the Lancers have been impatient. Shots fizzing over the net, wide, off the boards. It's been not necessarily easy day for O'Quinn. Not a game where he's padding the stats with saves.
Well, the other thing is we can go to Rochester tomorrow night and see a completely different game tomorrow night in Rochester. These 2 teams play each other tomorrow night, back to back.
And how big of a lift is that second game if a team loses this game, that they have another opportunity to face the squad just the next night?
I mean, it's big, and then they know that they got to go home. The one advantage that they do know is that they most likely won't have Neto to face, so that's an advantage for them. But you know, it helps because you don't have to dwell on that loss too long.
Sent off the boards, Hoxie in front. Shot, it's evading the touch of Brian O'Quinn, and it pulls the Lancers closer, 15-8 with 3:15 to go in the 4th period.
You know, and the Silver Knights have to bounce back right now. They have to play in this next minute. These next 2 shifts are critical because they're down 3 goals. They're up 3 goals right now. They have to make sure that they hold these next 2 shifts to no goals against.
And it's going to be a lot of defending because Coach Reif has been really apt to take off Patrick Hannigan and bring on the extra attacker in Edgar. Toby with it now, all the way back to O'Quinn. Slings it up to Slavica Ubiparapovic, who's poked away. Now the Lancers are able to possess. Trying to go over the stop is Foxkey, but Ubiparapovic clipped out by Miller. Turns the ball over. Nelson Santana finding a wide open Elenio on the near side. He'll operate. Wide to Ubiparapovic, off the wall, and into the back of the net. Ubiparapovic, another hat trick. And the Knights are marching to a 17-8 lead with 2:41 left to go in the 4th quarter.
I mean, are you kidding me how brilliant Ubiparapovic is? He's so smart. I mean, he allows the defender to commit, slide tackle, let me use my teammate, which is the boards, and then just one time, right here, here comes Boughton slide tackle, and then right into the upper 90. Hannigan has no chance against Ubiparapovic on that 1v1.
Just the 2nd goal for Slav the game. He had the hat trick in the opener, and he's really looked full of ideas in this game. Instant response from the Knights you've seen so far. Immediately after a Lancers goal, a Knights goal.
Well, the Lancers, they get a little bit comfortable. That's one of the things that they always say.
In the open floor, it's Antonio Manfoot. Trying to find that back of the net, no! Cleared off the line by Juninho as Antonio thought he had his 2nd MISL goal in his career.
Yeah, and that's an experience right now for Manfoot. If he just puts his foot on top of the ball, he would see that the defender is just going, and then it's just him and Nate Bordeaux, 2v1, 2v2.
It'll be a free kick at the top of the arc. Millwood lays it off. Bernardo Forbes finishes the set piece, and the Knights up by 11. Looks pretty nice to go 2-0 on the year with 2:05 in the game.
And that definitely seals it there for the Silver Knights. Canardo Forbes is just another player. I mean, I can't speak enough about these players. Watching them grow over the 3 years, over the last 3 seasons is just tremendous.
Within 40 seconds of Slav's goal, Canardo Forbes hits the dagger and puts the Knights up 19-8. A familiar score for Rochester as they lost by this tally against the Baltimore Blast. Extra attacker on again for Rochester, as now it looks all but steeled for the Knights.
And you can't replace a Maurizio Salas. And I mean, I think that's one thing that when you've got Doug Miller and Maurizio Salas on the field, or even on 2 different shifts, it really puts pressure every single shift. You've got one of those 2 guys, or you've got both those guys on the turf. And really, the Silver Knights, they're just watching out for Doug Miller. And that creates a problem for Doug Miller when there's not another go-to guy.
Ball launched in as it goes off the board. But you talk about the loss of Maurizio Salas. Syracuse might just face that same problem with not having Neto tomorrow night. How does that change the approach going into a back-to-back set against the Lancers?
Well, I think they got to play the game as if they played it. Tonight, they've lost Neto, and they've actually scored quite a bit of goals without Neto. But you saw at the beginning of the second half how many goals that they scored by hitting the ball into the corner with Neto there.
Bordeaux with it. He's got 3 men facing 2. Trying to cut it over. Elenio, shot saved by Edgar. Goes to Bordeaux. Another save. Can't make the 3rd. And Bordeaux finishes off the chance. 47 and a half ticks on the clock. All but the Knights game tonight. A 21-8 lead in the 4th quarter.
And that's, I got to say, that's pretty good saves by Edgar right there. I was pretty impressed by his goalkeeping capabilities. I mean, it was 3 shots before they got one in, and Elenio wanted one there, Bordeaux wanted one there. Bordeaux tried to slip it to Yelovich, but really it was Bordeaux that got the 3rd rebound.
And he finished the chance, and the Knights really looking like a side that could challenge in the MISL, up 21-8 against the Rochester Lancers. A win by the Silver Knights would extend the Lancers' losing streak in the series, as the last time that Rochester's won the game was back all the way in 2012, back in January of 2012.
Yeah, this will make it 4-8 for the Rochester Lancers against this rivalry.
15 seconds left. And the Lancers will just dribble it out and hold the ball. The first game at home, the first win at home, the 2nd win on the year, as the Knights go marching to an undefeated start in the MISL season. They'll face this team tomorrow night at the Blue Cross Arena. And going into that one, they may just not have Neto on the field. That might change things. But a bright start, a bright finish for Syracuse. How impressed are you with their performance today?
Yeah, they're starting to look like a veteran side, a team that's been in the league for quite a few years, and you can see that the players that have been around for quite a few years, they are veterans. They've got the experience of the indoor game, and this is Tommy Tanner's team. Like I said, you've seen 1 coach in 3 years, and where the Lancers, you've seen 3 coaches in 3 years. That makes a huge difference.
So with the game tomorrow night at Blue Cross Arena, that game kicks off 7:30 at 7 o'clock at the Blue Cross Arena. Rochester with a game at home. What needs to change for this team to get a win in that one?
I don't know if they've got it. I mean, tonight you didn't see much that they could build upon. hopefully, usually you'll watch the game and you'll be like, okay, they could build on a few things. But if they're depending on Joey Tavernese had 2 goals. He's virtually a rookie. He doesn't have a lot of experience. He scored 2 goals tonight. And really, who are you depending on? And you got Hoxie and Doug Miller, the guys with experience. You got Boughton and Fox and Foskey. And really, they didn't really make anything happen tonight. They got to make things happen when they go to Rochester tomorrow night. Janino, another guy with a lot of experience. And could be a tough season for the Rochester Lancers unless they start getting some style of play. You really couldn't figure it out tonight.
We'll also drop Rochester to 0-2 on the year. Syracuse moves the opposite way, 2-0 in this early campaign. And you can catch tomorrow's game on the Rochester Lancers YouTube page. While you're on the web, also check out scores, stats, news, and more exclusively at MISL.com. That's the league website. You can also find the league on Twitter. Get the latest from around the league and follow MISL Soccer on Twitter. And they're also on Facebook. Don't worry. Visit MISL on Facebook at facebook.com/MISL Soccer. Major Indoor Soccer League. That'll do it from the On-Center War Memorial Arena. The Syracuse Silver Knights take the game 21-8, and they'll take the undefeated start in the first of 6 meetings between the two squads. The return leg tomorrow night. For my broadcast partner, Michael Kerbs, I'm John Paul Chunga. Thanks for stopping by, and until next time, bye for now.
Thanks a lot, man. Yeah, we've done it before. Well, no, we did it. We did one game from that side. I said we can't do this. I went and bought equipment, and I think we were doing it from a little microphone.
Yeah, Alex had like a little